Okay, so turning my portrait into a Cubism style digital picture. And yes, this is my great aunt Mona that I'm using here, and I've already shown you how we upload the picture. What you will do is, I've already done a lot of the work, so what you'll do is get your picture up, you'll then hit your layer button and do a plus layer. Ignore all my other layers at the moment. Using any color you want, you will then carefully do the major outline. So this layer you're drawing on top of your picture. So your picture's here, you're drawing on top. So it's like you've put a clear glass on top, and you're going to outline the major parts of your portrait to help guide you. Oops, I've got a smudge tool on, so make sure you're on that one. So you'll just go round and outline the parts you think are important. Now remember, you can zoom right in, okay, and grab the parts that you want to grab, okay. This doesn't have to be perfect. This is just to help guide you, because I find sometimes having the image there makes it really hard to turn it into a cubism shape, because you're trying to find the shapes within that portrait. So here's one I prepared earlier. So if I go back in here and I zoom down and I click on that, you can now see where I've outlined the major parts that I think need to be looked at. So I've looked at the shadows and the darks and the shapes that build this as a portrait. Then I do another layer on top of that and start blocking in functions. So if you want to, you can see how well you've drawn it. If you just turn off that photo layer, you can now see where I've drawn. And from there, I started to outline things. So you can see I just started to pull out the shapes and draw and fill those shapes in. So for example, I'll go back to that blank layer. I would, if I want to fill this shape here, I would outline. Now, I would outline, okay, and fill that shape, okay. And then, so looking at those solid colours, I fill that shape. So that's exactly what I did for this eye here. Now, when I did the second eye, and this is what you can do as you go along, I drew the second eye, which is this one here, but when I then drew that eye, because I drew it on a totally separate layer, I grabbed my selection tool, and it will only, if I'm on the right layer, no, I'm not on the right layer, it will only grab what's on that layer. So because we like to twist and show different viewpoints with Cubism, it's grabbed that whole eye, I've made it bigger, and I've twisted it around. So you can twist it and make it bigger and show whatever you want, or it can just sit back perfectly in its shape there. Okay, so I've sort of tilted it, made it a bit bigger and played with it a bit. So the way I then work through my drawings is once I've worked on one part, I'll move to the next, I'll turn it off, and then I'll move to the next part I might want to work on. So I might want to work on the nose or the forehead, and slowly I've been building her up and moving to the background. So I'll just click on all my layers so you can see I've grabbed the hair there, then the darker bits of her hair, and I'm slowly building her up. I've moved to the background there, okay. This is still unfinished, I'll keep working on it, but here you can see all of the different layers. And it's really important to work on different layers because it really helps then if you make a mistake. So you can see I've twisted the eye, then the mouth there, I'm still playing with that shape. to slowly build her up. So have some fun. Make sure you're always working on a new layer so that if you need to delete things, it's really easy, or if you want to move or twist and distort things using your selection tool. Another one is you can, what have I got selected last? That eye still. If you want to play with the eye and you don't want it to look as perfect, you can use the distort, which means you can pull each of these individually and have a play. Good luck, have fun, and don't forget, you don't need to save your work, it automatically will save. So when I hit gallery, it's already there. Mine was separate to that one. And also, if you want to watch it being drawn, we can go here, time-lapse video, and you can see there exactly what I've done. So the outline, and you can see how many times I turn the background on and off to draw. So played with that eye, turned the eye off, did the other eye. So slowly building all her face parts, sometimes using the colours of her background to grab colours, sometimes turning it off. Okay, there you go. Have fun.